Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pod and Deliver the New Year. Welcome and Happy New Year, Jacob.
Yes, Happy New Year, Ruben. Before we go on, Ruben, do you like my new hat? It's pretty cool, huh? It was a Christmas gift. Just wanted to throw that out there. It's a nice hat.
You froze a bit, but
Oh, did I?
I don't know. Maybe it was me, but yeah, sure. I like your hat.
Thank you.
Sure. If it makes you feel better.
I was so happy when you said yeah, and you're like, well, that's better. That's cool. I'm cool. But you look nice. You look nice. You're in your classroom. That's cool.
So we are talking about, I'm in my classroom, and I thought this is my first day of the new year. It's your first day. You get to stay on at home for the first day. I have to report to work, and I thought it'd be interesting to do a New Year's resolution type of episode. And I'm not saying I practice New Year's resolutions in my personal life, but to think about the new year and what you're going to do differently or what you're going to improve, it's a good thought experiment. And so I had a couple of questions for you, Jacob. First of them being, by the way, are you game for this? Are you game for this idea of what are you going to do different this year?
I am. It's a new year, and I'm with you. I'm not always really, actually, I'm just not good at resolutions, but I think I'm going to really work on these because we're online. I have a lot of people now keeping me accountable, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I'm game.
Alrighty. So the first question I want to ask you is, what do you want to do more of this year?
You know what? There's one thing that you brought up a couple of times throughout this last year. We've almost been on a year, almost, and a couple of times you've mentioned it to me, and kind of like I kind of made light of it, but it's not really light. It's really actually something quite serious in a way, and that is getting to know my students' names. Now I have 225 students. I just found out that I'm going to get 50 new ones. And I'm losing 50. I'm sorry, not 50. Around 50, 60. And so that being said, I just think that during this time of, uncertainty, we have a lot of new mandates and protocols for school that I need to know. And it's I'm not going to make excuses. It is difficult because I only see their eyes. And every so often, if I do see them put down their mask, I go, oh, that's their whole face. I didn't know that's how they looked. And so, but that I usually find things to try to match, like to get me to remember them by something about them, So not to make excuses, it's difficult, but I need to do it, and I want to do it. And you've kind of challenged me this year, and now I want to meet up the challenge and do it.
It makes life a lot easier too.
Yeah.
When we know their names. But I'll answer that question too. And I guess the thing I want to do more of is the things I love. What I love to talk about and teach at center stage more than what I should teach. Because they will be impacted by it. The thought of, oh, I cannot wait to teach this. So it was funny, right before we got online here, I was thinking, because I want to teach poems this week, maybe next week too, for sure this week. And I was thinking, did I ever teach this poem a year ago to these now they're 10th graders? And then I go, I'm going to say I have, and I'm going to teach something I love. The other poem I really like, but this, so I thought of this poem. And it got me excited. I go, oh man, they're going to dig this. And so things I love to teach, because that passion is transferable, theoretically. So,
do you have a favorite poem, Ruben?
It would be impossible to answer that. I will say this: the poem I'm referring to is titled "No Thank You, John" by Christina Rossetti, and the poem was, and I love talking about a little biography of the writer, but I like to look at the year she was born, year they died, because I say, there's no way a poem written over almost 200 years ago, in her case, could have any relevance today, right? So the poem is titled No Thank You, John, and she's rejecting a guy. She's rejecting John. And I love
That's cool.
at the end of each time I teach this poem, I ask the girls, do you think she was being fair to John? Do you think she was just right or too critical? And they're like, just right. And almost always the boys thought she was too mean, too harsh. So it's a lot of fun. The poem is well structured, but also there's depth to it and theme. So anyway, I love teaching that one. What do you want to do less of this year?
Today, thinking about that question, Ruben, today I was in a couple of meetings for work, and we were doing it on Zoom, and it occurred to me that there's so much that's, as a teacher, of course, teaching is the number one piece, but there's so many other things that kind of get us off track. And I mentioned already the protocols, all the COVID-19 mandates, and I'm realizing that could really deter me, and I could complain. I'm going to try to do less complaining on that kind of stuff. I just want to focus more on teaching, and all the things that I have to do outside the classroom, I just don't even want to bring it up to anybody. I just want to just take it in and just do it, because it's not going to help to complain about it. And not that I shouldn't question or bring things up to my administrator's attention, but I just don't want it to drag me down. And it's so easy to get like depressed a little bit about it all. And I'm like, you know what? The kids don't need it. They don't want to hear about that. They just want to learn. They don't want to hear about the gripes outside of the classroom with administration or with the district, or it's just not even important to them. So I'm gonna try to do less of it, maybe none of that. I don't want to do any of that type of complaint. I just want to teach.
It changes the atmosphere of the whatever space you're in, whether it's the classroom, your house. If you're a person who just doesn't complain, people want to be around you. Just in general, I think it's a good goal in general that I have to remind myself to do as well. That's a good one.
It's hard, but it's good to do. Yeah.
For me, I want to do less talking, and it's funny because a poll occasionally will do very informal poll, or I shouldn't say poll, but I'll talk to my students. I'll survey them. I'll ask them, what do you think of that teacher? What's your thought? And if a student criticizes a teacher, it's almost, I'll often hear, she talks and talks and talks. And I reflect on that because I think I hate when a professor talks and talks and talks myself. I don't like it. And you know what, my story about, I can't sit for long periods of time doing anything. I need to do something. I can't even watch Netflix like that. I have to clean my apartment. I have to do something. I can't just sit down for more than 30 minutes. It's impossible for me. So imagine the students having to sit there. So I want to do less talking. I want to let them have a voice. I used to have this rule where every student says something every day. And I haven't done that, with all the changes, but I want to kind of go back to that. Everybody has a voice every day in some way. They say a word even. So that's something that I would like to do. Let's talk about the last question, which would be a concept or a quote from a past episode that you want to practice or develop.
Yeah. Well, there's.
I'm sorry if there's background noise. I'm on campus, so there's teachers. But anyway, go on. Sorry.
No, I mean, we've had I think every guest, there's been somebody who has brought something to our attention, and things that we've said, oh, wow, we're gonna do that in a classroom, or we haven't done that in a while, or things like that. And I think the thing has stuck with me, and things I've actually tried in the class, not tried, but have done in the classroom this last semester, was reading to my students the Wade Harlan episode with his wife, and so Helen. And so I did a little bit of that last semester, meaning like a short story, but I want to do a book with them this semester. So that's my goal, and I know the kids will get a kick out of it, and they enjoyed it when I did it this last semester. And so I want to do more of that. I do want to share one thing also with Kim Parker's attitude regarding the cleanliness of her classroom, how she mops floors. And I do little sweeping, nothing like she does, nothing in the realm of what she does. And I really want to have that attitude of making that space mine. And I already bought it. One of the episodes we had last semester regarding this book we read with this painter. Can't remember his name right now, Ruben. I think you know it. And I bought a piece of artwork and I put it on in my classroom. I just want to add to that as well. So I know I'm going two places with Kim Parker regarding keeping your space, clean, but also it being your space, but also keep putting art pieces up, pieces of work that conversation pieces for the kids. So I know that's a lot there, but these are episodes that really impacted me. And I would say everyone did. These are the top three that just popped in my head when you asked that question.
That is a good one. That is a really good one. I think the best times have been when I pick something I really love and I've read. I remember turning off all the lights. You just see the glow. So I have this smart board back here, and every class has that at school. And it was pitch except for the board, for the glow. And I had Devil in the White City. We were reading a few pages of it, and those students were eating it up. It's such a dark novel at times, and they were transfixed. And one student ended up reading the whole thing. She bought it on a PDF, and she just read it. So, and the read aloud, it's just they can look at it or they could just listen. Yeah. For me, I was thinking about the Sabrina Lou episode of Flow States, and the idea of getting in the flow of something. And I recognize it when it happens. And it really happened, I think, in the last 2 weeks of the semester, right before break. I did the Humans Project, and it was rocking. These students were all into it.
That's cool.
And you start to see student giftings. There's one particular student who hasn't been strong this year in this class, barely hung on to a C. I noticed he was one of the better photographers, and I was so glad I got to compliment him on something, because I never do. There's nothing to see there.
Wow.
And so there's a quote from Naval Ravikant. He said, "Flow is always there. Sometimes you're just in the way." And I thought, I really started to reflect on that, and how do I get away so that the flow can happen? And I thought of some ways. Always ask, how can I improve? Always ask yourself these questions. What was good? What needs to improve? Allow more student voice through questions. You're not just teaching, you're asking. And going back to a lesson that you've done in the past. Because now you're seeing it with new eyes and new approaches. Oh, that was a good one. Now I'm just going to do it this way. I like this. Some of the stuff that we've done in the past that we've thrown out is pretty good. So just reflecting on that. And
that's good.
Any final thoughts there?
No, I think just that word you just used, reflection. I think when we have these times where we have a break, we have this little 3-week break, and I really felt restful. I really felt like I was able to rest. I'm not sure about yourself, but that one item you just shared regarding just reflect, and I felt like I reflected quite a bit, and I just don't think that's not a negative thing, because it does take time to reflect, to process. What can I do different? What can I do better? What can I implement more this semester? And this is our 3rd semester online, and we're still going to continue to learn with other people.
Online?
We have, with the podcast. We're going to continue I know I said it wrong. I'm so sorry. The podcast, we're going to have, we have new people. We have people coming up this week that we're excited about. And I think, Ruben, we're going to continue learning from people. And I like that about this, what we're doing here. And I'm excited for the semester.
Thank you very much for watching this episode, everybody. Tell us what you think. Leave a comment on what you think would be a worthwhile future episode. And what are your New Year's resolutions for the classroom, or just in general? Tell us.
Let us know.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.